Hi, everyone. It's good to have you with us. I'm Jane McCarthy.
And I'm Tom Sherry. Well, heads up, Spokane drivers. Part of your commute on the north side is about to get more difficult. This is because of construction on the north-south freeway.
At least it's progress. A large part of the project will shut down Wellesley between Market and Freya. KREM 2's Shayna Waltower brings us more on the project and how to maneuver around the area.
Yeah, for the span of about 2 years, you won't be able to travel east and west on Wellesley, starting right here at Market, which means you'll have to use a couple of other options. One of them is to travel a little further up north. And you can come up here to Francis and Market, which is about a mile north of Wellesley. That's another option, or you can also travel further south. And come all the way down here to Market in Euclid, which is about a mile south of Wellesley. Get ready to see more orange cones and hard hats because things are just beginning. The Washington Department of Transportation says it's going to be about a 2-year process of just working on Wellesley, and it all starts this fall. This part of the project is to make room for 2 railroads that will run closer to Highway 395. This will permanently close roads like Bridgeport, Fairview, and Cleveland, leaving Francis, Euclid, Carlisle, and Upriver Drive as the only roads you can use to get between the east and west sides of the city. Now, if you're traveling in the area, you're already seeing a lot of this project starting. Right now, the city of Spokane is working to move some utilities to make way for the construction. This has already caused some road closures or detours. In Spokane, Shayna Waltower, KREM 2 News.
Well, pro-abortion rights advocates across the country marched in protest against new laws restricting abortions in several states.
Mark Hanrahan joins us now with a look at some of the marches from around the U.S. Mark.
Good afternoon, guys. So far this year, a total of 8 states have passed bills to limit abortions. Alabama's legislature voted to ban the procedure altogether, and many believe the bills could ultimately challenge the constitutional right established in Roe versus Wade. And that has abortion rights advocates demonstrating from our nation's capital and beyond. The restrictive bans have since triggered Stop the Bans demonstrations across the U.S. in defense of abortion rights. More than 50 organizations took part in more than 450 events across the nation. Hundreds of protesters packed the Supreme Court steps, touting signs that vowed to protect safe legal abortions and putting lawmakers on notice their voices would be heard.
I believe that women's health care is a human right. It should not be restricted based on what other people's personal beliefs are.
As we mentioned, 8 states so far this year have passed laws limiting abortion rights. 5 states have so-called heartbeat bills that ban abortions after 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy. Alabama's law bans all abortions unless the mother's life is threatened. Court challenges are underway or expected in every state where the new laws have been passed. A judge in Kentucky, by the way, has temporarily blocked that state's new law, and a hearing was held today in Mississippi over their bill. 4 justices, by the way, would have to agree to hear a case before it can head to the Supreme Court. We'll keep you posted on that. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Mark. And a Stop the Bans protest is set to start in downtown Spokane tonight just after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's going to take place at the Spokane Tribal Gathering Place that's located on Post Street, and more than 80 people are expected to attend.
KREM 2's Alexa Block will be there, and she will bring us a live report from the protest. Again, that's coming up tonight at 5.
Well, a 17-year-old Idaho girl is safe tonight after her kidnapping by an ex-boyfriend triggered an Amber Alert. Police found Sandra Rios Chavez safe in Arizona late last night. Now she's set to be reunited with her parents. The suspect, 18-year-old Miguel Rodriguez Perez, is in custody. Police say he kidnapped Rios Chavez from her job at a Wendy's in the town of Jerome in southeastern Idaho. She did have a protection order against him. The car police believe they were traveling in was spotted in Surprise, Arizona. Officers tried to pull it over. They say the driver took off, and then eventually the car was found abandoned nearby. That's when police set up a perimeter, searched the area, and found both the girl and the suspect. Authorities are working to identify a body pulled from the Spokane River today. Avista employees found the person this morning near the Washington Water Power Building. Detectives with the Spokane Police Major Crimes Unit are investigating, but no other information concerning this body has been released.
A wounded Montana Highway Patrol trooper is set to return home tomorrow afternoon. Trooper Wade Palmer was shot 3 times in the face, head, and neck. That shooting happened 2 months ago, just north of Missoula. Since then, he's been receiving special care in a Salt Lake City hospital. He was brought there in critical condition, where doctors immediately put him in a medically induced coma. Palmer now expected to arrive in Missoula at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. After he arrives, a motorcade will escort him home.
Boy, that is good news. Getting closer to home.
Great.
Love
Unbelievable. Well, clouds have been hanging around the area the last couple of days. Some high clouds out there right now. Well, what is next?
Well, we're still going to see seasonal temperatures, and I think we're still on track for a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. We've got some rain occurring to the south of Spokane, and we might even see a sprinkle or two here, also here, maybe here on the South Hill and maybe in downtown, but we'll look for drier weather once we get into more like the dinner hour. But most of the precip has been along the Washington-Oregon border, and the computer modeling says maybe about a 20% chance of showers up through 5 o'clock, and then just cloudy skies and overnight lows only dropping down into the low 50s. We'll see 50 the overnight low, 70 the expected high tomorrow. Jane, we'll start off with partly cloudy skies, then we'll see increasing clouds in the afternoon, but it should be a dry, mild day with a high of 70. Look at the weekend forecast: 72 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday, and for Memorial Day Monday, 76 degrees. I'll have the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Well, first it was tornadoes. Now the major concern is flooding. This after a major storm system tore through the southern plains. Rescue crews helped an elderly woman and her family evacuate their home in Oklahoma following the torrential downpours that happened there overnight. Crews also helped a child to safety. Massive flooding has prompted water rescues in Oklahoma City as well. Rising rivers overflowed their banks, washing out roadways and stranding cars. The storm also uprooted trees.
Trees all came down around me, and I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't tell direction. And I couldn't find my husband, and he was on the tree that fell between us. Wow.
Emergency officials say their first priority is always to rescue stranded people. Then they will assess the damage.
A mile-wide asteroid traveling at 48,000 miles per hour is set to pass close to Earth on Saturday. There's something special about that asteroid. It has its own moon. Now, this is what asteroid 1999 looks like. It is called a double asteroid because of its moon. Its moon orbits around it every 16 hours. The main asteroid has been noted to have an unusual shape. You can see it's kind of similar to a walnut there. Now, it will come within 3.2 million miles of Earth. That's about 13.5 times the distance from Earth to the moon. People in the northern hemisphere should be able to see that asteroid on Monday night.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think, and we have clear skies too, I think, for maybe Monday night. Wow, that would be very, very impressive.
Well, millions of Americans also expected to hit the road for the long holiday weekend. AAA predicting it will be the second highest travel volume on record.
Yeah, they predict the worst time for folks to leave, meaning the busiest time, if you leave on Thursday and Friday afternoon. By the way, the top driving destinations include Orlando, New York City, and Las Vegas. And by the way, Seattle also high up on the list. AAA also predicts an increase in travelers from last year by planes, trains, and not automobiles, but cruise ships.
Cruise ships, well, that's fancy.